Most personality content tells you what's wrong with being an INFJ. This video does the exact opposite. Instead of focusing on how to fix yourself, I'm showing you why your natural tendencies are precisely what makes you effective. I've identified 5 key INFJ advantages that are consistently undervalued or misunderstood. These aren't abstract concepts. They're practical capabilities that create real-world impact when you learn to harness them intentionally. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. And if you are looking to achieve a deeper understanding of yourself and your personality type, click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test. Advantage number 1, what others dismiss as overthinking. Have you ever noticed how the people around you raise their eyebrows when you point out connections they completely missed? You're overthinking it, they say, or you're reading too much into this situation. I've been there countless times, but here's what I've discovered. What they're dismissing as overthinking is your brain's extraordinary pattern recognition system working exactly as designed. As an INFJ, you possess a rare form of intuitive pattern recognition that operates beneath your conscious awareness. This isn't some mystical sixth sense. It's your dominant cognitive function, introverted intuition, working at full capacity. This function constantly analyzes thousands of data points in the background, connecting seemingly unrelated information into cohesive insights that often bypass logical step-by-step reasoning entirely. This explains the frustrating experience of knowing something will happen, but not articulating why. Your brain has already processed countless subtle cues, the slight hesitation in someone's voice, the inconsistency in their story, the way certain events unfold, all simultaneously and automatically. Like an artist who suddenly perceives the hidden order in what others see as random brush strokes, you grasp meanings others miss. In professional environments, this manifests as an uncanny strategic foresight. While colleagues focus on immediate concerns, you're mentally mapping potential consequences 6 months later. You notice the small workflow inefficiency that, if left unaddressed, will eventually create major bottlenecks. You sense when a team dynamic is subtly shifting before anyone else has picked up on the tension. Your competitive advantage isn't just seeing these patterns, it's seeing them early. This time, advantage allows you to prepare for changes before they fully materialize. When others finally recognize what's happening, you've already developed potential solutions. Society consistently devalues this ability, treating it as unnecessary complexity rather than recognizing it as the sophisticated cognitive process it is. In a world drowning in information but starving for insight, your pattern recognition gives you a legitimate edge that fundamentally separates INFJs from more sequential thinkers. Advantage number 2. Emotional intelligence as strategic intelligence. Studies show emotional intelligence predicts leadership effectiveness more reliably than technical skill or IQ. Yet when INFJs naturally demonstrate this ability, it's dismissed as oversensitivity rather than recognized as the strategic superpower it truly is. I've heard countless INFJs being told, "You're reading too much into what they said," or "Stop being so sensitive." But here's what's happening. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's operating a sophisticated emotional radar system that others simply don't possess. You have extroverted feeling as your auxiliary cognitive function as an INFJ. This represents a real-world processing system that allows you to continuously monitor emotional undercurrents and group dynamics, even when you're not consciously trying to. Imagine sitting in a team meeting where everyone appears engaged, but you alone notice the subtle jaw tension of your colleague indicating disagreement they're unwilling to voice. You can access a layer of strategic information that remains completely invisible to others. When you sense tension between team members before an argument breaks out, or when you pick up on someone's discomfort despite their verbal assurances, you're gathering intelligence that gives you a strategic advantage. You're reading the terrain while others are still looking at the map. In professional environments, this translates into something incredibly valuable. When negotiations stall, you perceive the underlying concerns, unspoken alliances, and true motivations driving resistance. While others address symptoms, you identify root causes. This isn't overthinking, it's advanced problem solving. The real competitive edge comes from knowing how to navigate complex social dynamics. You instinctively understand that the approach that works for one personality type will backfire with another. You sense when to push forward and when to create space. This precision in human interaction takes people years of conscious effort to develop. The challenge is that most workplaces don't recognize emotional intelligence as the strategic asset it is, but forward-thinking organizations are beginning to understand. In a world where understanding emotions is power, your ability to build consensus, diffuse tensions, and create psychological safety directly impacts innovation, collaboration, and results. Advantage number 3, the catalyst effect. When rocking the boat creates transformation. Beyond creating psychological safety lies an INFJ strength that actively disrupts it, intentionally and for good reason. The quality that makes others uncomfortable around you, your inability to accept broken systems, and your persistent push for meaningful change isn't a liability, but a sophisticated change mechanism that breaks through limitations others can't even see. Many perceive INFJs as rocking the boat when we challenge dysfunctional systems that everyone else seems perfectly content to tolerate. This instinct is your catalyst effect. You function like the essential element in a chemical reaction that transforms the entire environment. Without the catalyst, nothing changes. With it, transformation becomes inevitable. You possess a rare combination of idealism and practical insight. Unlike most who identify problems but stop short of action, you create a compelling vision of what could be and make others feel personally invested in that vision. This combination transforms you from merely a critic to a genuine catalyst for change. In the workplace, your catalyst effect manifests as your ability to influence meaningful transformation even without formal authority. You don't need a management title to reshape a team's function. Your insights and authentic communication style naturally motivate others to embrace new possibilities, even when they initially resist. What's particularly remarkable is how you navigate resistance to change. You instinctively understand the emotional barriers preventing others from embracing new ideas. This precise understanding of people's concerns allows you to address hesitations directly, creating an environment where transformation feels possible rather than threatening. Consider what happens when you suppress this natural catalyst ability to fit in. Not only do you experience personal frustration, but organizations stagnate, remaining stuck in dysfunctional patterns that limit everyone's potential. The strategic approach isn't to diminish your change-driving nature, but to channel it intentionally. When recognized as a sophisticated strength rather than an inconvenient quirk, your catalyst effect becomes a blueprint for organizational transformation, creating ripples of positive change far beyond your immediate influence. Advantage number 4, the misunderstood art of meaningful relationships. In a world where 3 in 5 Americans report feeling chronically lonely despite constant digital connection, your capacity as an INFJ for creating authentic depth represents a sophisticated skill most people desperately need but have yet to develop. That same intentionality you apply to catalyzing change can transform what might be your most misunderstood strength as an INFJ. Have you noticed how others label your desire for meaningful connection as intense or too much? Yet these same people repeatedly seek you out when they need someone who truly understands them. This apparent contradiction reveals something fascinating about your natural abilities. When you engage with someone, you naturally create what psychologists call psychological safety, a space where others feel authentic without fear of judgment. Your genuine interest in others, empathic listening style, and ability to hold space for difficult emotions create an invisible bridge between hearts. This explains why people often tell you things they've never told anyone else before within minutes of meeting you. The mechanics of building these connections are fascinating. You instinctively ask questions that transcend surface-level small talk, remember significant details from previous conversations, and create an atmosphere that invites authentic expression. You've developed an architecture of trust that others sense immediately. Consider how this manifests in professional settings. During a team meeting where everyone offers shallow input, your thoughtful question about underlying motivations can transform the entire discussion. While colleagues spend weeks on tentative relationship building, you establish genuine rapport in a single meaningful interaction, forming strategic alliances based on real understanding. In casual settings, what feels overwhelming to others becomes your competitive edge in environments where authentic connection matters. While others remain trapped in superficial interactions, you access deeper levels of understanding, leading to more creative solutions and stronger working relationships. The strategic move isn't to dial back your connection-seeking tendencies, but to recognize them as sophisticated strengths. By intentionally applying this ability, knowing when and how to create space for meaningful engagement, you transform what some perceive as a social liability into both personal fulfillment and practical advantage. Advantage number 5, emotional resilience. Beyond creating connections with others lies an even more profound INFJ advantage that completely contradicts how the world perceives you. The very sensitivity that makes others assume you'll shatter under pressure has forged in you a form of emotional resilience that works through meaning rather than avoidance, giving you access to recovery pathways that remain closed to those who suppress their emotions. Most people mistake emotional depth for weakness. They see your intense reactions and assume you lack the toughness to handle life's challenges. In reality, your constant navigation through complex emotional terrain has developed a sophisticated processing system that transforms difficulties into growth opportunities. Like a phoenix rising from emotional fires, you emerge stronger precisely because you engage with the full spectrum of feelings. Your resilience operates on an entirely different principle than what our culture typically celebrates. Rather than avoiding difficult emotions, you've learned to work with them, finding purpose even in painful experiences. This meaning-making approach allows you to process complexity without losing your center. Consider when you faced rejection from a job you sincerely wanted. While others might have simply toughed it out, you examined the situation from multiple angles, understood its emotional dimensions, and discovered a path more aligned with your values. Or when a relationship ended painfully, your ability to extract meaning from the experience led to profound personal growth. This sophisticated emotional processing ultimately leads to deeper recovery. This manifests as a remarkable ability to hold multiple perspectives simultaneously in crisis situations. You can process your emotions while supporting others, maintain a broader view while acknowledging immediate difficulties, and find constructive paths forward when others see only obstacles. This capacity comes from years spent navigating your rich inner landscape. The strategic advantage isn't becoming less sensitive. It's recognizing that emotional depth creates resilience when paired with natural meaning-making abilities. By engaging with your feelings rather than fighting them, you develop emotional intelligence that equips you to solve problems with sensitivity and stability, a potent combination. Let's come full circle now. What once made you feel like an outsider is precisely what makes you effective in today's complex world. Research confirms that authenticity correlates directly with effectiveness and well-being. Studies show that people who embrace their authentic selves report significantly higher job satisfaction and happiness. The 5 strengths we've explored, pattern recognition, emotional intelligence, catalyst effect, connection building, and resilience, aren't just theoretical concepts, but strategic assets that create real impact when used intentionally. In the comments, I'd love to hear about a time when something you thought was a weakness became your strength. Remember, the world doesn't need you to blend in. It requires you to stand out with your unique perspective. Your difference isn't your liability, it's your most significant advantage. If you want to continue the journey to understanding yourself or an INFJ in your life, click either of the following videos, where we continue to unlock the secrets of the INFJ personality type.